Konnichiwa, welcome to this week's video. We're continuing on self-introductions. One of the key points when you're introducing yourself to other people is being able to tell them how old you are. And as long as we've been talking about family, being able to say how many people are in your family would not be a bad idea. So we're going to learn numbers in order to be able to accomplish those communicative tasks. Numbers in Japanese can be a little bit more complicated than you might expect, since there's different pronunciations for things, and there's this whole set of things called counters, which you use when you're depending on what type of object you're counting. But as long as you keep practicing and studying and paying attention in class, you'll be able to figure those things out. Let's get some vocabulary. Are you ready to take notes? Numbers. If you need to pause to write things down, you can pause to write things down. 1 yen. Ichi. Ichi. These are arranged vertically, so when you have a vertical set of writing, you start by the top and go into the bottom, and then you'll proceed to the left to get the next thing. So 2 cats. Ni. See how the word moved to the left. 3 apples. San. Shi or yon. This is one of the ones that I'll come back to in a second on a new slide. Shi and yon. They're both 4. 5 flamingos. Alliteration. Go. Roku. Ichi, ni, san, shi, go. Roku. 7. Shichi or nana. I'll come back to that one too. A pizza with 8 slices. Hachi. An almost good number of cats to keep. Kyu. For those who are fans of Naruto, the Kyuubi has 9 tails. Kyu. And Ju. Ju. A 10-sided die. Ju. In Japanese, there are Sino-Japanese numbers, which are the pronunciations of numbers that come from Chinese and are pretty much attached to the kanji. And there are also native Japanese numbers, which are the numbers as they existed before the influence of the Chinese language on the Japanese language. But we'll talk more about that at a later date. So shi or yon, which one do you use? Are you counting? Are you going to continue going past 4? You'll use shi. So ichi, ni, san, shi, go. You use shi because you didn't stop there. But are you counting and stopping at 4? Then you'll use yon. Ichi, ni, san, yon. The reason for this is because when you're saying the number by itself, you don't want to say shi, because shi, when it's a number, is this kanji, which means 4, but shi as a sound can also be this kanji, which means death. So you want to avoid using that word just as a superstition, the way that some people skip the number 13 when labeling flights of stairs, for example. You avoid saying the things that sound like hardship and pain and death. Are you saying how many there are of something? You're going to use yon, because you don't want it to sound like you might be saying like death cats instead of 4 cats, for example. That connection with these kanji here is pretty strong with the number 4. April is an exception. April is shigatsu, not yongatsu. But we'll get to months later. But just want to point that out now. Shichi or nana. Are you just saying the number 7? Like, I have 7 of them. You basically get to pick, for the most part. There's no associations with death kanji for the number 7. Is the 7 part of a bigger number, like 7D or 37? You'll use nana. Are you talking about someone's age? You're always going to use nana. There's one exception. There will be a note in the Edpuzzle. Grammar time! Counters. Japanese uses a lot of counters to tell the listener or the reader what the number is being applied to. Since I already mentioned that nouns don't change and become plural, like goose becomes geese in English, the counter system helps you know what is being counted with the number that you say in your sentence. So we're going to use and learn the counters for years of age and for people this week. Years of age, the counter is sai. The squiggly line is a filler for where the number is going to go, and that is pretty commonly used in all sorts of places as a fill-in-the-blank type of mark. So we put it together like number, then sai. Nothing in between them. Number, sai. There are a few exceptions, mostly based on how you say the number. Here is a chart. You can pause this and write it down if you want. I'm going to go through it. For 1 year, we have issai instead of ichisai. The others are as to be expected. I already mentioned nanasai, yonsai, not shisai, yon. Hachi also becomes hassai. You can notice that 1 and 8 both end in chi, ichi and hachi. And they're the only ones that do that. And they become, that chi becomes a double S sound. Issai, hassai. And 10 is jusai. There's no particular, that ju doesn't end with chi. You'll just have to remember that ju is jusai. To go beyond that, just like with regular numbers, you add the ones digit to 10. So 16 would be jurokusai, or 14 juyonsai. If only when ju is at the end of the number does it have that double S sound. People. The counter for people is nin or ri, depending on the number of people. Just like for age, it's number then nin or number plus ri. And here's a chart for that. If it's highlighted in blue, it's different than the people was, than the years were. If it's highlighted in red, it's also different. Hitori, futari. 4 is yonin, not yonin. 7 people become shichinin, but it's kind of up to you. If you want to say nananin, it's not wrong. I'm going to talk fast. If you need to pause and go again, that's fine. So here are some English ages. I have 6 seconds.